What's going on, my super fam? Alright, so today 4.7 Abyss has arrived. Now I'm pretty sure you guys have been waiting for it for a while because yes, this time around Abyss is kind of sad because we only get like one reset per month. So on top of that, we're definitely going to be looking forward to the new endgame content alongside with the 1st of July. But the whole point of this video is going to be us looking into how to clear the Abyss this time around. And for that, I do believe that there are quite a few notes that you do want to keep in mind whenever you tackle this Abyss, otherwise it can get a little bit challenging. So basically, I've already completed the Abyss before recording this video so that I can have an idea of how it's going to go exactly. Now, I won't be touching on floor 11 because, wow, if you want to clear the Abyss, then obviously you need to have the power to actually clear floor 11 already, right? So we're just going to be looking in floor 12. So this enemy lineup, there are a few interesting things. Is that first of all, I feel that this is mostly going to be a DPS check Abyss once again because the enemies can get very tanky. And secondly is that there are many spawn phases within each of the half. So for example, if I remember correctly, on the first chamber, the first half have like 3 spawn phases, right? And then the second half also have like 3 spawn phases, which is kind of like a bad thing because now you have to do more rotations. And on top of the enemies being pretty tanky, it will sap out a lot of your TAMs if you don't have your team built correctly and if you are not investing into your character properly. Now in terms of team build, this Abyss is not very restrictive in terms of which team you want to play. However, if you look into it, the first half are more geared towards, you know, Hyper Bloom teams or teams with electro characters because yeah, we have, you know, the primal constructs and you know, the algorithm boss is here once again. So those kind of enemies does prefer you to have electro character on the team if you want to clear it more of an easy TAM. However, on the second half, it's more going to be you having hydro characters. Well, not for the second chamber. Second chamber doesn't really have anything, but you know, on the third chamber and especially on the first chamber, you really would love to have a hydro team. So usually, you know, 2 hydro core team members are going to be very good, right? So therefore, there are a lot of team builds that you can potentially do. Obviously, like, you know, if you're going with aggravate teams, then the first half is basically made for, you know, Cloran if you do have a Cloran team. Otherwise, on the first half, you can just go ahead and play Raiden National as usual, and it's still going to be a very good thing. Like, it is one of the oldest teams that we've got, and it still works to this date and will still do very well for you if you have that team invested. I say you just go ahead and use that team. And obviously, on the second half, as I mentioned, as long as you have like 2 hydro character, you're going to be able to do very well on this second half. So you don't really need to fret too much about that. Other teams here, such as Raiden, Hyper Bloom teams, is also going to be very good. But yes, first half is more geared towards Aggravate and Hyper Bloom, and second half you can actually go with a Mono Hydro team. And that's still going to be very good too. One of the easiest teams you can play in the game as well. Or if you want, another version would be you can definitely go with Alekino Overload team. That works absolutely well. And Nilu Bloom team on the second half can help you to have a pretty decent run on top of all of that. So as I've said, there are a lot of different teams that you can use in this Abyss as long as you have a very good team with a very invested DPS that can help you clear enemy fast. I think you are pretty good to go. Now for me personally, I just go ahead and use 2 of my favorite team in the game, which, you know, my favorite Kuching Hyper Bloom team as well as Navia with 2 hydro character and Sanju, which is kind of plunging Navia gameplay, and that is going to be a pretty interesting team. So here I'll just do a quick run to demonstrate how I basically play this Abyss, right? So the first one, this 3 machine is going to be spawning, right? Just quickly set up your team and you should be able to clear these 3 machines pretty fast, not too hard, right? And then after that, another machine will spawn. I keep on forgetting all these things' names, so I'm just calling the machines, right? But they are not too tanky. However, as I've mentioned, they do spawn in many different waves, so it's not really very favorable for you, especially, you know, in either AoE or single target situations, because you can't use your AoE character to clear all of them at once, and you have to clear them one by one in order for them to actually die, right? On the first phase, it's not too tanky for the first chamber, and then after that, 2 Sumeru lovely ladies are going to spawn. They're a little bit tankier, right? So at this point in time, right, as you can see, they do actually do quite a lot of damage for you too if you don't really be mindful about that. Ouch. Alright. They've already taken a bit of time, but we should be good. Alright, we're still on time, which is really nice. So on the second phase, start with Yelan. 3 of these are here, right? There's going to be a lot of pyro, which is why I recommended you guys to actually have many hydro characters, right? setting up for me, right? Cool, do that. Shouldn't be too hard to clear them out. After that, it's going to be the Pyro Elector, right? These guys are a little bit more troublesome, but you should be able to easily group them as long as you attack them to the side. Right, the more important thing is going to be your Hydro characters doing the job here, because right now, they're just going to go into their Hydro shields. Right, so having Navia here is going to help me do as many normal attacks you can. Right, setting up my Yelan once again. Having Sanjun here. Sanjun is just going to be helping you out in terms of, you know, having healing capabilities, right? And then after that, should be good. Okay. Right, awesome. So after that, there's going to be, you know, the two knights after that too, which is pretty insane because it's actually quite surprised me on my first run too. I didn't realize there was an extra thing that actually spawns, so it actually takes a lot of my time afterward too. See, as you can see, I've almost run out of time. Look at that. We barely have time, right? We barely have time here, so that's why I said they can get very tanky and they can spawn a lot of phases as well, right? So we do have elemental skill, which is great. Right, so the second one is just going to be Magu Kenki. They're basically just a DPS check once again, so it's pretty easy for you to actually clear it out. Not too hard. Pretty easy, not too much of a stuff for you to be worrying about. Okay, as long as you know how to fight Magu Kenki.
Emerge, right here. Emerge. I see everything.
Cool, after you overdone your DPS stuff, I'm pretty sure you have quite a lot of time with this because Magu Kenki is actually pretty easy. Now, on to the second phase of the second chamber, which is like the most important part too. Right, 3D burst should be back. We set up everything for us. Okay. Okay, well, obviously, like the most beneficial thing for you is going to be clearing these two things as fast as you can. Otherwise, they re-heal. The robot are going to spawn next in 2 phases. Right, set them up. Once again, this phase do have a lot of spawning phases. Okay, nice. Right, and then after that, it's going to be the wolf. You may want to once again have proper healing here because the wolf can get you, you know, your HP sapped real fast. Okay. I mean, wow, Navia's actually very great in close combat situation too, so we're not too bad on that. After that, you know, the clockwork is going to come out. Once again, these guys aren't really hard to deal with, however, they're just DPS checks that comes into many different phases. So as long as you have good DPS character to deal with them, I'm pretty sure you have more than enough time. So second phase is actually quite easier for us here. Third chamber, very easy again, guys. I'm pretty sure you know how to deal with this thing, right? Yeah, once again, it's just going to basically stand there for you to hit most of the time. So I think that's a good thing about this guy. Very easy. Usually you're only probably going to take like 1 minute to actually deal with this thing. So that leaves us the last part of this. Setting up. 3 of these guys can be a little bit annoying because they can spread out at times. Make sure they don't shoot you as well, but they're not really tanky, so you should be able to deal with them quite properly. Not too ideal for my Navia, but since I do have my other character helping me out with, you know, certain AoE, it's slightly easier for us here. Okay, these guys are quite tanky and they do hit hard, so you do have to keep in mind regarding that. Now, the bird is usually going to follow you, while, you know, the seahorse are trying to get away from you many of the time. So I would generally recommend you to try and follow, you know, the seahorse, so that, you know, the bird is going to be following you either way. So as you can see, the other seahorse is basically going away from me, like instantly all the time. Right? Right. Right. As long as you have good healers too, you shouldn't really have to worry too much about this. But if you don't, then they do hit quite hard. Right, and then after that, it comes the last phase, which is also going to have these crap that requires you to have good Hydro character. Therefore, once again, Hydro characters are very important here. I'm probably not going to focus on the other crap just yet because I'm focused on setting up these characters of mine. right? Saying a Yelan. I think we should have more than enough time here. All right.
This one's got your name on it.
Right, I barely use my plunging attack Navia because I'm so focused on actually dealing other damage stuff. Right, but other than that, there you go. This should be pretty good. So guys, once again, that is going to be the new abyss of patch 4.7. Now, I say this is a pretty interesting abyss. It's not really, you know, too hard in terms of, you know, special enemies that you have to take special measurements of that, you know, like some of the previous abyss where we've got like so many worms that you have to time your timer correctly. Right, but this abyss is more going to be a DPS check. As long as you have the good team, you are going to do very, very well. Now, do keep in mind once again that you don't really have to follow me and do like all one team clear for all the 3 chamber, right? You can just go ahead and build 2 different teams for this to help you deal in different situations that you find you're struggling in, and that's going to be totally fine, right? And also reset the abyss if you feel that you don't really have enough energy starting out on the next chamber, and that's obviously going to help you out as well. So I think that's all I have to say regarding this abyss. I hope that the video helps you out, guys, and if you do have any questions, leave it down in the comment section and I'll get you there, and hopefully this video have helped you out more in terms of clearing this abyss for you. Really love you guys and appreciate you sticking with me to this part of the video, and with that, I'll catch you on my next video. Peace out.